Hi everyone.
What's up, y'all? How's it, guys?
Hola, Wafit.
Hi, guys.
Hello, hi.
Sanbona, guys.
Welcome to the Power Space.
Welcome to the pause.
Welcome to the Power Space.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
Welcome to the Power Space.
Hey guys. Hi everyone. My name is Bundle and best is happening. I am the bundle of all of this. But if you ask for my ID, my name is Welcome to Power Space podcast. And today I'm not alone as always. I am with
Pontsho Mmakola, pushing P, the one and only.
the one and only. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. It's just
Ish. What about you?
Yeah, remove Pitori. Whether you're confused outside.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Now, I understand and get you very well. So just a brief explanation of what is happening. Basically, last month, which was March, we were celebrating human rights, and then basically the month of April, it's more of a continuation or a focus on one human right, which is freedom,
Sure.
and then that's what we are talking about basically. And on the specific episode we are speaking at, which is something that you specify in. So
Sure,
can you please
sure.
explain to us, what do you do in the art space?
Yo, I do a lot of things. Basically, I prefer to say I'm a poet, I'm a writer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they say you're not an artist if you do not do a lot of art. If you just do one art, then you're basically not an artist.
Sure.
You're just exploring your hobbies. I'm joking, guys. Don't come. Don't come for me, guys. But it's basically that, because art communicates in different ways, and then when you do one art, you basically fall into other arts, because like you said, you're a poet. So writing poetry, you end up being a performing artist.
Yes.
And then you end up being able to write scripts.
Sure.
You end up being able to act, because poets act. Guys, poets act. I know that first-hand experience. I'm a poet too. So it's one of those things that we do. And let's talk about art in the YMCA.
Okay.
How do we find art in the YMCA? Where do we locate it? And if somebody from outside comes in saying, I'm an artist and I would like to explore my art, and then really go to YMCA, how do I locate that?
Okay, so now I feel like once like YMCA and art and stuff. So what we come YMCA, and we have Holo is okay. So yeah, we like Holo, but then for more information, you can say go along was depending on the time, right? So whenever information, like we are going DC, the digital cafe. So that's why we go to program back and then we ask for information.
Okay, so what type of art do we find? Because art is a very broad thing. There are many different types of
Sure,
art,
sure.
and sometimes it's very hard for one institution to cover all the arts. So what type of arts do we find in the YMCA?
So we find drama. We find, for now we are limited, right? So the one is already TV, the drama, but we also have poetry. We also have, but by the music, we also have drawing. So yeah, for now I would say that's what we have for now.
But kidding. Drama, it's more poetic, depending on what type of drama do you do.
Sure.
If you do TV, then the poems are not really there unless somebody is doing a monologue. But I think I like to believe in theater. If you guys are doing theater drama, then poetry has a lot of room. So what's hindering it from like poetry to be out there and known for there's poetry?
I'll be honest. Right? Marankuwa, I believe for but poetry. But then I don't feel like there are a lot of people who understand poetry.
Oh.
Yeah, so for poets it's limited. Yes. So if you go read poetry more Ga-Rankuwa, you have to go down and more other poets. More Ga-Rankuwa it's limited.
How do we close that gap?
I feel like we need, like, as artists, not as poets, but as artists, we need to start supporting each other. Because what music is
Yes.
poetry, poetry is drama, music is one color, so if you are a drama artist or you are a drawing artist, like as an artist, we need to support each other. Because if we don't, then nobody will.
What do you think? What about like not to support each other? What's stopping us from celebrating each other's art?
Yo, I don't know. Maybe competition. I don't know. Babe,
I don't wanna lie.
I guess.
If that's the case, we have a lot of problem because like you said, art it's a body. I mean, you have the head, you have the hands, and then all these other types of art. The types of arts kids are not for this body to become one.
Yeah.
And if a musician can't support a poet because keep poet, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Because when you're writing lyrics, you're basically being poetic.
Yeah.
When you are drawing, the pictures that you have, the words that you have in your mind, that is poetic.
Sure.
And like there's so much connection in the art space. William Hore, to me, it doesn't really make sense for I'm not this type of an artist, I'm this type of an artist. What are you saying?
I guess, one thing you learn from I guess what like regular challenge when it comes to understanding. Okay, like, because I can understand the musician can understand me, but then there are people who don't understand the both of us. Okay, so they are challenging in a way that like it ever makes sense, but yeah.
You are making so much sense, but Kiring, let's bring it up back to YMCA, them having art,
Sure.
having the Y arts. How do we use our art to make people who do not know what poetry is? How wana obulela mula uta obulela like lufukulela wane hanchinchi. You are using a lot of P's and then over confused. How do I make that person understand poetry? That is a vowel repetition.
Yo, honestly, I feel like when it comes to that part, I feel like Trinitary Kalawano, but like Bamol kidding.
Which level?
Yeah. Yeah. But then at the same time, I don't know how they really have the idea.
Let's have art exhibitions
Sure.
where a poet recites a poem, explains the writing process,
Okay.
explains why did I use
Repetition.
him and not her,
Okay.
why did I use repetition, why did I use metaphor,
Yeah.
why did I use
Personification.
yes,
Okay.
why how does, because you can simply say I love you, but in poetry it's something very big.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
you can become a 50-word poem.
Yeah.
So how let's explain to the few of people who are trying by all means to understand what we are doing, but let us not say abatlhalohanya. Let's extend our hand and say, okay, you don't understand me, let me try to explain to you.
Okay.
Because we all did this in school. we all did acting in school in a way, because there's a lot of pretending that we do.
Yeah.
We pretend a lot to our teachers. We pretend a lot to people around us, and that's acting. That's the beauty of art, because art is a living. If you're not living your art, then you're not an artist.
Yeah.
So to a person who says, Mara, how do you say the phone was speaking? How does a phone speak?
Yeah.
Because to somebody who does not understand art would say
It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
it doesn't make sense.
If I see a picture there,
And
Mara,
I'm able to put
kota
words.
ela ina le mulo. What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
And then that's when maybe us also as artists we can connect and say what a visual artist to draw something, and then you as a poet, you come in and recite something that you are seeing.
Yeah.
Compared to what the artist was saying, because also it's about interpretation.
Sure.
It's about what the person is experiencing from that. Because Mutu Utla, maybe to your art exhibition, I want us Marahaja Mola, only a whole human being from a tree.
You can even explain how the tree feels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people are not. They are not getting that opportunity. So let's grant that opportunity to people and say, yes, we understand there are some things that we do that are so complicated that you think we are witchcrafting you guys, which is not witchcraft. But because of the extension of the imagination of an artist, not everyone can go to that extent.
Sure.
Mara, let me meet you halfway and try to draw you the picture that you are supposed to see from the art that I'm trying to write for you.
Come, we can see you. Yeah, that's like we explain it.
Yeah.
What to say. Yeah.
Because yes, YMCA, we are a small community, but let's use the small community
To our advantage.
because you can't start with a big group.
Yeah.
Rather build the small thing. The audience that you have now, the 5 people that you have now who come when you say we have a theater production.
Yes.
And they come and experience your art when you are reciting a poem or when you are on stage and acting as somebody else, and explain to them, okay, when I was acting as a voodoo woman, what was going through my mind as an artist on stage acting that woman, and what is going through the mind of the writer, what is going through the mind of the director, so that they also understand, okay, so it started ka writer but
Yes.
the director owning a beautiful voodoo woman. The writer only saw a voodoo woman.
Yeah.
The director saw a beautiful one. But me, as an actor or an actress, this is how I put both of those worlds together, so that you can see and interpret just by me walking on stage and saying, yo, Musari Ola Usui.
Yeah.
And then when I walk off stage, I'm a total different person. How do you do that? How do you separate yourself from the character?
Yes.
And how do you meditate not to indulge much of the character? Because I think it's one of the things that I have had around Kore. We have a challenge of people saying, I can't do acting.
Sure.
Because they feel if I do this character, like last year I was doing the abusive lady.
Okay.
I'm nothing to that lady.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah.
Total different person. Even in my worst days, I can go normal, but let lady shouts. I get so man.
Yeah.
I can't scream, but that lady screams. She shouts. The words that come out of that lady's mouth, I'm sorry. Off stage, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So how people will ask Kurumara, how do you do that?
Yeah. Sure.
And then I think also people will also be able not to getting we do when you're not.
Yeah.
Because our actresses and our actors are going through a lot, because one day I'm with my family, not on stage, and then people are giving me faces.
Sure.
People are giving me bad comments because of the character that I'm acting. And we are trying to explain to audience for it, I am not that person.
I was portraying a different kind of person.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of the things that we have to cover more the art space. And going back to freedom, how do we paint the picture of freedom through art?
In so many ways. Basically what I understand about being an artist, right, is you are the voice of the voiceless. So you can it's hard to do this, but because you are able to do it, it's easy for them to understand that at the end of the day, this is mine. Like this is my right. This is my right. So if as an artist, I sharpen my skills. The aim to sharpen my skills. You can't be perfect as an artist, but
you are never perfect.
Yeah. So you have to keep on sharpening your skills. For at the end of the day, it make easy for him, even in the challenging situations. So when you are giving a scenario, you are be an abusive father or the abusive child. It's easy for you not to be true, because that part it's triggering.
It's very
tricky.
It's
triggering.
Because talking about that, I remember when I was given the character of the abusive lady.
Sure.
It took me time to separate myself from the character.
Sure.
Because I was like, guys, I'm so shy. I have the softest voice that you can ever get. How am I supposed to do this?
Yeah.
And then also I must paint a picture of my fellow actor Hori. And this scene.
Sure.
So I'm literally shouting at an older person. So I literally went through a lot, because I'm like,
Yeah.
how do I do this? Because it's also brutal.
It is.
It's also brutal.
It is.
And also having to, when I remember they edited a scene where my child is being raped by the same guy.
Yeah.
I was like,
it is challenging, because it's kind of a challenge when it comes to separating yourself.
not to be too attached.
It's gonna affect that too much, because you have to also keep your remind of yourself. This is a character, this is not you. Okay. So whatever happens, got this character. Separate yourself for Oscar not regarding, and on the other side, on the other side, this character. There's a lesson behind. So instead of being triggered out about, take that lesson and then try to do this kind of way and
And then we get to a point where our rights as artists and our freedom is not respected.
Yeah, but one of that one, yo,
Because we are going through a lot, guys.
that one, Lena, ke na le hore ke reng, ke feleletsa ke di-box because of that, you know, because as an artist, you always want to grow.
Yes.
You always want to grow, and one of the opportunities following mabaki a teng o kgona go tshwara enkele tsa teng o bule o tsene, but then ho tsena, what are the consequences?
There's a lot going on.
Exactly. So
There is a lot.
I'd rather box myself when I'm going dead than going there and having those consequences.
Because people are abused in the art space.
Yeah.
People's perspectives, people's rights are violated. Because I remember there's this one artist that I used to respect so much. I can't mention her name. The guy was so abusive. To a point where we as ladies, we were not very free around him. But we had to do the job because we are getting paid for it. Yeah. And it's things that we go through. And people see you on the streets and they say, Oshaku, why?
Yeah. I always say, and it's these are not my words, but they are famous words that I found somewhere, and there some like Anthony Hamilton song. If you ever walk a mile in my shoes, you will understand what I'm going through.
Yo.
Yeah, so so I guess because they will take you the way they will take you.
And I think it's one of the things. It goes back to what I was saying. Let us educate the people who are not artists, but consumers of art, and say, what you are consuming, this is what you went through.
Yes.
Because also in modeling, we used to go for hiking.
Yeah.
I climbed a hill with heels on. Basically,
Yo.
we cried. Our modeling instructor was like, if you want to do this, this is where your fate is shown.
Yo. Somebody was already.
We went there really 20.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, there were 15 reservations. Only 5 were left.
That's something you'll never do. But it's understandable. I mean,
it's the sacrifices that we do, because also people see us on runways.
Sure.
In beautiful garments.
Sure.
We went through training, through your garment torn apart during your male productions.
Sure.
And you're like, guys, I was naked before a man for you guys to see this beautiful thing. And I think it's something that I think we as the YMCA have to work on and educate the people who are in. Let us be judged by an audience as but you as our audience, allow us to educate you guys. This is what art makes artists go through.
Yeah.
And these are the sacrifices that we go through as artists. I remember when we visited the Constitution to to the audience and refers to the interviews that we have on the last episode. So I made this comment. I was like, art is not supported, especially in our country.
Yes.
And then this guy was like, you guys don't want to be managed. I was like,
I remember.
I was like,
Personally, on that one, I remember that one. And I got angry in a way, but then
I was so fumed.
I had to separate myself because, I had understood all this is a dialogue. And right now I'm in a professional setting.
I was ready to have a debate,
Yeah.
stand up and show him. Because even his explanation was very lame.
Yeah.
To say, worry, I met an artist outside and he's wrong. But what did he put in for him to be wrong?
Yeah.
Because the very same artist that he was speaking about, by the way, a month ago, no, last year in October, he made a post complaining about the art space that he says they are supporting him in. I was like, what? I was so shocked. And I was like, I was so in disbelief because these people think managing me is doing the thing.
Sure. Speaking of that, ne, I remember one time, Kepunela is a big club. Ne, I want to do poetry as my career. You know what he said to me? And that didn't get it because I think of it. Okay? So he said to me, poetry is not something you can do in career, it's only music. Career. Or maybe in another country, okay?
Can I not speak to your brother? Am I like
Yo, Kari, you know what?
and heads?
Yeah, and come to you know what? I'm gonna disown you as my big brother. I'm gonna disown you as my big brother because you remember when I got truth. And you compare something that I love with music as if it's not the same thing, and I do a little category why.
Thing is also musicians went through that too. There was a point in time where it was said you can't build a career. As even acting too.
Yeah.
They're like you won't even have money in that.
But then as I grew, I understand maybe this guy doesn't understand what poetry is. Because I did my research and rap comes from poetry.
Rap is poetry.
Exactly.
Rap is poetry.
Come to know, I understand what this guy who can love music, who eats those people are poets. Okay. So yeah.
Cause also, more rap. It's more of the vowel repetition type of poetry. Moto uno repeat the vowels, lead the consonants, and then you guys feel it's nice. Guys, gotta judge.
That's what we go through as artists.
This is a non-judgmental podcast, mar. Guys, you can do better than that.
Yeah, that's what
You honestly can do better than that. May the heavens have mercy on you guys. Cause it doesn't make sense.
That's what we go
It really doesn't make sense. But yeah, cause we have people who are very artistic, who are forced to go to school, and it's one of the saddest things. And I want 1 plus 1 is shame. E mo fa 11. Mara mo fe pampiri. O re kwala. O re mo fe mic.
Yeah.
The beauty that comes out of that. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. So beautiful. To wrap up, I don't know if you would mind, but if you do, please mention. Please give us a micro poem or a short poem or something. Maybe a scene, a monologue, something. In time. Let me challenge your art. Use this as your prop. It's a candle, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode. It is fun. Hope you enjoyed. And hopefully we invite you next time, and next time you give us a poem.
I will try and
Yeah, next time come prepared with maybe a poem or two, and let us educate people about art and the freedom that comes and the education that comes with art, because there's a lot that we can learn through art, and there's a lot of information that comes with art. I think you're thing where we are to be able to say freedom is coming tomorrow, or we are free, or say because it was artists through their music, through their poetry, through their acting that sent the message more to those people and say, hey guys, we are fed up.
it's time we understand in the big scenes.
Yeah, we are crying.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think instead of us going out with boards and fighting, let us use art to fight for us. And I don't think we are entirely free. We are 30% free.
Yeah, we still have a lot.
We're not even 50% there, but I think through art can be our weapon. Art can be our tool to fight these things, because now we are not even free to our brothers. We are more in jail, guys. We can't walk on the streets at night.
Yeah.
It's scary out there. It's very scary out there. But hopefully, with the art that we have, we are able to express the cries of those who cannot speak for themselves. Because we as artists are the voice for the voiceless. Thank you very much. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and do the most. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. This is your boy Tabam Tembo from the YMCA. I am the TM facilitator, and I've actually joined the Power Space to actually talk about a few things. I'm sure you can actually see with the stuff that I have in front of the table here. So this is what we'll be talking about today. So today it's more like we'll be talking about people actually knowing and also practicing safe sex and the things that they should actually know and take. I'm talking about the likes of self-test kit, which is a HIV testing kit that actually you get or receive from a nearby clinic or a mobile clinic that is actually roaming around our communities, which also has like information on how you can actually do it when you're on your own. The reason why it's called a self-test kit, right? And we're also going to talk about the condoms, right? And then we're also going to share a bit about a prep. So I just gave you a roundup of what is it that we're talking about. So I would actually like to start with the HIV self-test kit, right? We do practice sex, right? But then there's a process whereby people are not actually sure of their status or are actually afraid of testing, right? So people should actually know that it's very, very like valid for you to actually know your status as an individual, so that should you actually practice any form of sexual activity, you're not actually harming the other people around you. So what do I mean by that? You actually should know your status, and by you knowing your status, that's where you're actually empowered and actually know that you're actually saving the world by actually not spreading it, which is actually something that's actually being curved or being in the process of being curved, because a lot of people are actually fighting this. And then continuing with the equipment that I have, we'll talk about the condoms. a lot of people, and I'll actually emphasize on the parts whereby people go on parties. Right? We might go on parties, but gents, sometimes we must just know. Maybe just take 2 or 3 nyana, put it in your back pocket. Trust me, you'll be safe. Because it's in terms of what? Whereby when we're highly intoxicated with what we'll be drinking there, right? We find a maid. Okay, cool. You find a maid and then you communicate. Definitely, when you're intoxicated, you feel like this. You feel like having sex and stuff like that, which is actually true, right? And then, should you actually score that opportunity, what happens? You don't have what? Protection. So what I try to advise people is to always stay safe. There's a line that I always use, like, no glove, no love. Like, simply, like, it's more like something that you should actually teach yourself. It's more like a moral. So that, like, you know and respect and value your body and value yourself, right? Okay, since I've talked about the condoms, there's one thing that people always misinterpret. And one thing that people always misinterpret is the usage of what? Of PrEP. Right? We understand that ePrep, I don't actually have like the container, but then this is the document of information that I have about ePrep. So in terms of ePrep, we all know that it's a medication that's took by people who are HIV negative to actually protect themselves from actually what? Getting infected by having sexual intercourse with a person who has HIV. It doesn't actually protect you that much. It actually protects you from getting like from the risks that are actually there. It doesn't actually mean that people should actually, since they actually take PrEP, they should stop using condoms. Right? It's actually valid for people to actually continue practicing safe sex, because there are other things that actually come besides you getting infected by HIV. There's unprepared pregnancy. There are other infections like STI. ePrep only helps you to prevent HIV symptoms, not the other infections that are actually there. So it's actually advised for people to get what? Condoms. So it's more like what? This is more like the pieces that you should actually know, pieces that you should actually have, and you should actually have this information in terms of what? Even the person you're having sexual intercourse with, it's not actually a crime to ask a person, Uti, can I please know your status, so that this is the process we can do it, right? Maybe you're going through a family planning situation, right? You should know your partner's status, which is valid, and you should know, Uti, okay, since we're actually in a relationship, do we plan on having a baby? Nah, if you don't plan on having a baby, recommend using what? Protection. So it's highly recommended for people to actually test themselves, know your status, use protection all the time, and also take PrEP in terms of what? In terms of you protecting yourself from HIV sicknesses. That's it from me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the Power Space. That's it from me. Thank you very much.